Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee with Kelly. I'm back, and I am here today with three very, very special and beautiful people. So first I'll introduce myself, and then I'll allow them to introduce themselves. So you may know by now, or you may not, that I'm Kelly Appleby. I'm the Thames Valley District School Board Mental Health Lead, and my preferred pronouns are she and her. And I am here with these wonderfully special people in order to have a coffee and a chat about the importance of May 17th, which is the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. So before we get into that conversation, I'm going to allow my guests to introduce themselves. So go ahead.
Hi, I'm Cam. I am a grade 11 student at HPBL Secondary School, and my pronouns are he, him, and his.
My name's Matt. I'm a grade 12 student at Banting, and I also use he, him pronouns.
And my name is Julie Montes, and I'm a Learning Technologies Coordinator with Thames Valley, but also an educator at Banting Secondary School, and my preferred pronouns are she and her.
Okay. So thank you to the three of you for being here. I've only ever had one other guest up to this point, so now I've got to referee three people. So we'll see how this goes. I am interested in, and I think there will probably be a lot of people who watch this that will be interested in actually sort of the origin story or the origins of May 17th and how it's got started and why, what's behind it and why do we acknowledge it and recognize it on that particular day. So I'm wondering, besides me sharing that information, I would love for one of you to be able to share that with us.
Idaho actually started celebrating in 2004, and the day chosen on May 17th because on May 17th, 1990 was the day that the World Health Organization out of the list of diseases, and it's to commemorate showing our LGBTQ plus rights and how far we've come and how far we still need to go.
Yeah. So it's about acknowledging where we've been and also acknowledging where we are and also acknowledging where we're headed in some ways. And so I'm curious actually to know from any of you what the meaning has for you. And you can't speak for everybody, but you can speak for yourself in terms of the meaning of May 17th and the meaning that it has for you. And just curious about whether any of you might be willing to share what the meaning is to you.
I'll jump in just to add. I know Matt's itching to get on the microphone, I can tell. But for me personally, it is just a day to make others aware of the struggles that LGBTQ plus people face every day. That it's as much as we've come so far, there's still a lot of issues, not only in Canada, but across the world. And because it's an international event, it makes us really aware of where some really harsh and cruel laws still exist, and how we can support those who are living in those types of situations to make it a bit easier for them.
So there's definitely that awareness piece, or raising awareness of the work that's been done and the work that we still have to do. Cam or Matt, either of you, around what does the May 17th, what's the meaning for you?
Yeah, for me, it's a lot of the same things, just bringing awareness to things that we've overcome as a community. And then again, things that we have to work towards, not only in Canada, like Madame Montes said, but across the world, just because there are so many places that are so much further behind than us in a lot of ways regarding LGBTQ plus issues. So I think for a lot of students who may not be exposed to the community like like queer individuals would be. I think it's really good to just show the rest of the world that queer people exist and that there are many advancements, but there's still a long way to go.
Well said. Thanks.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, it's been a lot of making people aware, like they said, because I feel like a lot of people tend to disregard days like this sometimes without even without even acknowledging that they did. And I feel like it's really important that people need to see that, like, there's things that we do in our day-to-day lives that we have to think about that some other people may not have to think about, and our rights are different than, and we've been fighting for them to be where they are today in Canada for so long. But like they said, there's still a lot of places that don't have what we have here, and there's a lot of stuff that still need to be taken. But I think that us having a day to celebrate and recognize and make people aware is more than important for the LGBTQ+ community.
Yes, absolutely. And you actually did a really good job of bringing me to my next thought that's on my head is, so we were talking about awareness, for sure, awareness about rights, and also awareness about continued inequities. And you also said celebrate as well. So I'm curious about, is that an aspect for any of you? Is celebrating an aspect of May 17th as well?
I'll jump in again, as the other two seem a little tongue-tied, but
especially so shy, aren't they? So shy.
That's right. But especially I find in, for example, Thames Valley schools, the Pride Festival in London isn't until the end of July or even early August sometimes. And so to have that ability to celebrate within schools is kind of limited because that Pride Festival, which is intended for celebration, is into the summer, or the Pride Month is in June, and we don't have that opportunity with exams and a lot of stress. So a lot of schools take May 17th as the opportunity to not only increase awareness about LGBT rights within schools, but also to celebrate those who want to celebrate who they are and be proud of who they are as well.
And has it been, Cam or Matt, has it been, in terms of your experience in schools with the recognition of May 17th, what has been your experience in schools about it being recognized?
I think that like a lot of GSAs throughout the year work towards that day. So I know at least at Banting, we try to make it a bigger event. Like Minnemonte says, we don't have a ton of LGBT events that we can actually work for just because they're in the summer or around exam time. So I think that that day is super important for the acceptance at Banting for me, just because we do so much. Like one year we made cupcakes and gave them out. We made bracelets, pamphlets, we had posters. So we tried to make it like our big event because that's kind of like the only one that we really have during the school year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Most of the schools that I've been to, because I've been flipped between a few so far, but every time I experience like a GSA or anything, they're always talking about May 17th and, oh, what do we want to do? Like, who we need to make the school and like the people and our community aware that this is happening. And usually all the schools are expected to like raise the flag, the trans flag and the pride flag on that day for us and the LGBTQ community. I feel like it's been really good to watch people like have pride in themselves and recognize something that seems so small to some people, but really can change our lives in like the littlest ways.
And so once again, Cam, you did a beautiful job at taking me right towards where I was headed. How did you know? This is sort of an opportunity for us to acknowledge what's been said and also to sort of say that this is, as we know by now, this is our sort of little sip of coffee to give people an idea of what we will be talking about. And then people can join us for our extended full cup of coffee conversation at tvdsb.ca/mental health. You took me right towards where we're going to pick back up. And that's about, you know, what schools, the significant role that schools play in creating that sense of inclusiveness for our LGBTQ+ students, and why something like May 17th is one day, but is so significant in so many ways within the school environment. So we're going to talk a lot about that. Matt and Cam, Matt and Cam are going to share with us some of their own experiences and what makes the school environment so key. What educators and administrators and people in schools need to know that is going to be helpful in continuing to support our LGBTQ+ students. And then we're going to just talk a little bit about how we further kind of raise awareness and celebrate. And these brave, courageous people are going to continue to share with everybody out there. So if I were to ever think of what the definition of courage is, it would be this. It would be being willing to share fully and truly who you are with in service of educating people and helping people understand. So thank you so much. I am very grateful for all three of you being here. And I will see you for the extended cup of coffee conversation. Thanks, guys.